So I had to go live on this. I had to share my thoughts on when, in particular, 30 pluses who may well work in the fitness industry, who say that the solve all fix is to eat less and move more. Now, no one is disagreeing with that, by the way. So we should always be eating healthily, watching our calories, and obviously moving more, getting more exercise. That is like, yes, obviously, that is the ideal. That is what we would all love to be able to do to reduce our poundage, to reduce our inches, to basically make that impact on our health. 100%, absolutely would love that. Okay. Reality is, so with regards to the move more, first of all, so yeah, I am a very busy mum of 2 little boys, and being their taxi is kind of my priority. So waking up in the morning, getting a bit of work done, getting them to school, coming home, making the most of that time that I have from a working perspective with regards to that, say like 9 o'clock till 2:30, 3 o'clock-ish time. That for me is prime time, work time, so that I can earn an income that supports our family. Okay, so that is something that's what I do. And then picking up the kids from school, and then getting them home, doing their dinner, and the likelihood is that one of them will be at some sort of football throughout the evening. And quite honestly, if they're not at some sort of football in the evening, then not having to move is obviously like a bonus. So whilst I can honestly say that I absolutely I adore fitness, that feeling, those endorphins with regards to my depression, it's something that getting out in the fresh air, getting your body moving, 100%. I know that is what I should be doing. The reality is I can't do it as much as what I want to. That is the absolute reality of it. I can't do it as much as I want to. I can't exercise 3 or 4 times a week because the reality is that my little boys who need me as a taxi, who have very demanding activities and hobbies, take priority, and earning an income to look after and sustain those 2 little boys also then takes a priority. So then what I would say is that the calorie reduction thing. So I myself am 43, going to be turning, I'm not going past 43, but basically it's my birthday in September, and I am going through perimenopausal. So I've recently been to the doctors, and there's a potential, it's literally it's happening. The dreaded thing that, my body's going through huge shifts hormonally, basically. And it has been for a few years now. So I'd say for the past 2 years, I've been recognised as being having those, those regular periods and stuff like that. And, it was basically ever since after turning 40. And what I found after 40 was that it became really hard. So I was, I've always been a really healthy person. I take good care of myself. I really watch what I put into my body, because I'm aware this body is the most precious thing that I have. So I really do take care of it. And I've always been like that. But what I noticed after 40 was that, so say for example, we were going on a holiday, and I would find that prior to being 40, that I could reduce my carbs for 2 weeks before I'd go away, and any extra poundage would drop off. So I've never been particularly large. Okay, I've always tried to look after myself with regards to that. But when you're going on holiday, you want to lose a few extra, don't you? At the end of the day. So what I found is that that wasn't happening. So I did my usual thing. And oh my God, the weight didn't move, it didn't come off, and I'm like, okay, so what's happening here? So my body was changing, my body had changed, my metabolism had clearly changed, and that was, you know, it was down to the time of life. Now, it's a fact that for every decade you have to eat something like 200 less calories to be able to drop pounds. Okay, that is a fact. It's out there, it's known. So to say to somebody eat less is all very well and good, but if you're already eating healthy, if you've already restricted your calories, and that still isn't working and you need to restrict them even further, it's almost then to a point where, well, how far does this go? How little do I have to eat to actually lose weight? And then your body's going to think, oh my God, you're starving me. So then it starts to hold on to the fat. So it's all kind of really difficult around that. It's all really, really difficult. And it's just not viable for so many people to just reduce the amount they eat and lose the weight. It isn't, okay. I was a very healthy eater and I was putting on weight, okay, and I wasn't eating anything particularly differently to what I'd ate in my 30s, yet as soon as my 40s hit, I was putting on weight. So even with the calorie restriction, it still wasn't working. It wasn't working like it should do, okay? Now, you have two choices here. You can either argue with the whole population of women over 40 who I speak to on a regular basis, who hear my story, who see what I've done and what I've achieved with the products that we have, and you go, they're all myth. This is a myth that this is happening. I'm in perimenopausal groups, okay? These perimenopausal groups have thousands upon thousands of women, okay? And they are all going through really similar things. So this is fact. It's a fact that it gets harder. It gets harder, and doing the same things, and like I say, getting to a point where you're just hardly eating is not pleasant. That is not the answer. And the reality is that there are products out there that can help that. Okay, so I am under no illusions that my products are the only products out there that help that, okay? I just happen to love ours because I've seen amazing results personally with them. And I've helped other people see amazing results personally with them. I've helped ladies who've had hysterectomies, who were struggling, honestly, doing the exercise, doing the reduced calories, and just not getting anywhere. And because of our products they've got somewhere. And honestly, that's why I talk about it as much as what I do. And yes, they are throwaway comments. And you know what? I'm going to, basically, as I've shared many times, I do suffer from depression. And the reality is that when you are telling a woman who no longer really cares what you think, okay, the brilliant thing about being over 40 is you don't care so much any longer. I love that. I love that I'm at ease with my body shape. I love that whilst I might want to lose a few pounds, I'm happy with my body shape. It's me. That's me. I feel more confident in so many other ways. But that hormonal stuff also has a lot of things that it can do to you mentally as well. And that can be really quite damaging. So when you've got people saying that you are obviously not doing enough, you are obviously not watching what you eat, and you are watching what you eat, you are eating healthily, you are doing the exercise, and you still aren't losing that weight, to then turn to that person and say, well, it must be something basically wrong with you. It must be basically something wrong with what you're doing. And that person is potentially already mentally struggling, okay? Because that's one thing that does happen. Alongside all these hormonal changes, there's a huge increase with regards to anxiety and depression and all of those different mindset things. And so to then say to that person, actually, no, you know, it's obviously all in your head or you're not doing things right, then be aware of how that can impact that person mentally, because that's really not very fair, and it isn't. And the reality is you are you're just lacking education in this specific area. And if you take health and wellness and fitness and helping people and supporting people to their goals seriously, then educate yourself on this time of life for many women, because honestly, it is not made up. We're feeling it, we're living it, and I appreciate that you can't understand that until you've lived it, or but if you're a guy, you're never going to go through that, you're never going to live it, so you're going to have to do your research. So I really hope that this gets through to some people, and if you are watching this and you're in that position where you are losing, you're not losing weight and you are doing all those right things, know that you aren't alone. No, you aren't alone, and that you are imagining it, and that it's not something that you are doing wrong. It is a real thing that real people go through. So I hope that helps, and have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.